Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today Swing Wing Sing is going to take a look at this, and this is the Hasegawa 1/72 scale Jaguar GR.1A. So actually the story about this kit is that I have built a couple of these a few years back, but I realized I couldn't get around to making a video of the Hasegawa kit and how I built it. So I thought that this is the right time to start off and kind of do a build review of this lovely kit. So without further ado, let's dive in and see what's on the box and what's in the box. So on the top you see this is a Jaguar GR.1A by Hasegawa Hobby Kits. It says GR.1A, something written in Japanese, 1/72 scale kit, Hasegawa Corporation, and you see that box art of the Jaguar. It has kind of bombed a particular target and it's kind of heading out, but this is kind of funny because you see that it has already destroyed the target and it is moving out of the target zone, and at this point the target could be heavily defended and the pilot has his air brakes open. So not really the right time to have your air brakes open, dude. The area could be infested with surface-to-air missiles and you could be a sitting duck with those air brakes open. Also, funny thing is that even though the target has been destroyed, the Jaguar still shows that it is completely armed with 2 rocket pods here, 2 Matra magic missiles, and 2 bombs here. That is actually the entire weapons load that a Jaguar can carry. So dude, who is the one that destroyed the target? Maybe you were flying in a 2-ship formation, the first one got the 100% kills and you're just dangling around. Anyway, so jokes apart, the artwork looks great, especially the Jaguar in all its menacing front view. In fact, once I finish this build, I will also take a photograph of it in flight in the same disposition to be able to see all its beauty. So that's the front of the box. The first longer edge of the box says Jaguar GR.1A, GR.1A, same thing in Japanese, and then it has a few callouts in different languages. It says contains part for 1 model, paint and glue are not included, with English instructions. Thank you very much. I couldn't follow Japanese, so you made it easier for me. It says D2. I don't know what that D2 means. Looking at the shorter edge, it says Jaguar GR.1A, the same Mach 1A Hobby Kits, Hasegawa Hobby Kits, 1/72 scale, the same box art as it's there on the front. Again, a D2 and kit number 00432. The other longer edge has kind of a very nice looking side profile of a Jaguar GR.1A standing on the ground, and whoever made it has done a brilliant job of it, especially the feathered camo kind of thing on it. It looks fantastic. So again, it says Jaguar GR Mark 1. Here it says 1/72. It gives you the length and width of the model. So the length is about 22.9 centimeters, roughly 23 centimeters, and the wingspan is around 12 centimeters, and it's got a total of 75 pieces. Again, it says D2 out here, and there is a Hasegawa barcode for this particular model. The other shorter edge is exactly the same as the shorter edge that we saw. So let's dive into the box and see the contents now. Okay, so the first thing we are greeted with is a single plastic bag with all the screws inside. You've also got the canopy out there. Let's put this to the side for the time being. You've got a sort of the building instructions for newbies, so we'll put that to the side. And then you've got the instruction sheet. We'll have a look at that shortly. And then you've got the decal sheet, and this decal sheet is just fantastic. it's printed very nicely. I have used these decals before. Of course, I haven't used the Royal Air Force decals. I've used the common decals on my builds, especially the cockpit decals. They come out really nice, and of course the common decals are also pretty nicely printed. So very nicely done decal sheet there. Let's have a look at the instruction sheet then. So this is a black and white instruction sheet. It starts with the SEPECAT Jaguar Mark 1 with a plan view of or an angular plan view of the Jaguar here. And then it gives some information about the Anglo-French Jaguar, some information about the power plant, the maximum speed, and the kind of weapons it can carry, especially the DEFA 553 30mm cannon. Very effective for the Jaguars. Moving, the first page shows you all the weapons loadouts. Now you will notice that in these weapons loadouts you do not find the drop tanks, which is usually the standard loadout on the Jaguars, and which is surprising for me. But anyway, we are going to not look at that aspect of it. It's got your BL-755 cluster bombs, LR-155 rocket launchers. It's got the AIM-9D or Matra 550 Magic missiles. I will just be using the cluster bombs here and probably have a few more in my spares, which I will mount on my Indian Air Force Jaguar. So now that I've said it, the suspense is opened. I will build an Indian Air Force Jaguar with it. Okay, so we move into the assembly of the cockpit, the seat. So it has a pilot figure as well, which is good. So assembly of the pilot, then you assemble the front part of the fuselage, and then it shows you two different assemblies of the pitot tubes. The one is for the Jaguar A, which is the British Jaguar, and the other is for the Jaguar International. So two different kinds of pitot tubes that are going to be used, so you need to have that in mind. Similarly, for these radio antennas behind the cockpit, if you're building a Jaguar International, you will use this one. If you're building the normal Jaguar A version, you will use the other assembly. And the rest of it, of course, is the assembly of the fuselage, the assembly of the tailplane, the undercarriage, and then it moves on to the assembly of the weapons, how the weapons are going to be mounted, and then finally you get the callouts here. So this one just has two callouts, and both are Royal Air Force machines. You've got one in this nice number 54 Squadron 38 Group RAF Coltishall, England, in this nice gray and blue camo, and the other one is a gray on gray camo, which is from the this is French Air Force. Okay, yeah, this is the Jaguar A, which is the French Air Force Jaguar. So this is from your EC411 French Air Force, Bordeaux, France. And then you've got a very, very small sprue map out here showing you all the sprues. So let's put the instruction sheet to the side and quickly bring out the goodie bag. So that's the bag of sprues that we have. I will just quickly cut it open. Once again, thankfully no staples here, so easy for me to cut it out. There we go. And out come the sprues. All right, so we'll look at the clear sprues first. I do see a little bit of flash. I'm not sure if you can see it there in the camera, but now it should be visible better. There's some flash on the front windshield, which will need some cleanup. We've got the HUD here, and that's about it. Those are the clear parts, but they're looking pretty clean and clear. Quite usable, of course. All right, so let's move to the first sprue, which is, let's see, we have sprue A. Okay, sprue A is your fuselage halves, very, very crisp plastic, nicely recessed panel lines, beautiful panel line detailing on this one. The pilot figure there, as I was saying, it's got a lot of flash, which will need some cleanup. The seat, and then we've got the halves of the bombs, the halves of the rocket launchers here. We've got the exhaust nozzles, the front nose and main landing gear wheels, the pylons, the central afterburner section, and then we've got the Jaguar A tail. And from here we move on to sprue B, which has the trademark Jaguar International tail with the radar warning receiver bar right there on the top. And then we've got some cockpit detail here, the cockpit floor. We've got the Matra missiles, the magic missiles. We've got the instrument panel, the front section of the nose. Very, very nicely done. And these are the two different kinds of pitot tubes, depending on which version you are building. And also the nose structure, the one with the IRST right there in the nose, and the Jaguar A without the IRST nose. So that's the sprue B. And then sprue C, of course, has the wings, the horizontal stabilizers, the air intakes, the landing gear legs, centerline hard points, the ventral fins, the front of the nose landing gear assembly, air brakes. Very nicely detailed kit. It's beautiful. And then you've got those holes on the underside of the wing to mount the weapons, and then you've got the ladder structure as well. But since I will be building it in an in-flight configuration, I definitely wouldn't need that ladder. So that's the Jaguar Mark 1A. I am going to start building this kit shortly. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up and do consider subscribing to the channel, because that helps me bring in more content like this. Stay tuned for the build video that will be coming out in roughly 2 weeks time after this unboxing. So I will see you in the next video. Bye bye, take care, stay safe, enjoy yourself.